friends and family, welcome to Marcie Creates. This is Marcie, and as you can see from my desk, I've gotten started on another project with our bargain bead box for Tutorial Tuesday. I didn't want to make the video super long, so I did get a little bit of a head start, but I'll show you what I am doing. So sometimes when I'm thinking about things, I do a little sketch. So this is my sketch. I was thinking about this project today, and basically the idea is that I am going to have this piece come down from a necklace. I'm going to suspend some of the chain and do another little dangle, and then I'm going to have like a beaded tassel type thing. So I'm going to use chain, some wire, the beads, one of these components, which I think are gorgeous, and put it all together. So this is a nice way to do like a layered necklace, but it's all going to be connected. So sometimes when you wear, you know, layers of necklaces, they get tangled. This will all be attached, so you won't have that tangle situation, but will still give the look of a layered look. So as I've gotten started here, I just started by making my dangles. So I've started with these really pretty pink coin beads and the gorgeous bright green, spring green bicones. And I made another section, and then I added some of that really pretty chain, and we're gonna hang those from our piece here. So I'm gonna finish this one up. I didn't want you to have to sit through a bunch of them, so I've already made these, but I will show you quickly how I put this together. So I basically took 3 links of the chain, which I really love, and we're gonna do I used a ball pin head pin, and we're gonna do a quick loop, and then we will wrap it. We're gonna wrap this one just like this. And I used the whole, almost the whole head pin. And then I'm gonna snip the extra, and we'll clean this up. And then from here, from this component, we're gonna do this second section right here. So the second section, I have some of these already looped head pins, which is great. They save time. And so I'm just going to open this up. And the reason I decided to do 2 separate sections was I wanted these to have a lot of movement. So the more sections you add, the more movement you have in a piece. This is going to be our last little fringe piece here. And then from here, I've got a couple of those really pretty green bicones, some bead caps that I had previously from the bargain bead box, one of those pretty lavender coin beads, and then a copper spacer bead. So that's what we're going to do next. So we're going to take 2 of these, and you just make yourself a little assembly line, you know, when you're doing something repetitive like this. We're going to add our spacer bead, and then going to make another loop. I'm going to wrap that around. And we'll snip this extra. I always cover my hands when I do that extra snip because I don't want any pieces to fly in my face. So here's our little component, and we're going to add it to our 3 links of that pretty chain. So with that, I'm going to do another connection, but I'm going to use a jump ring. So this is going to have swing a lot. You know, it's going to be hanging on the end of the necklace. It's going to be moving a lot when you're moving, and so it'll be really pretty. I love when tassels move quite a bit. So since we're not using string or fabric, we're trying to make joints basically so that things will move as we go. Okay, so here are dangles. I made 7 of them because I wanted this to be quite full. And now we're going to hang them from this. And I think we'll just hang them off of one jump ring. I think I'm going to use just a slightly bigger jump ring than I used for the connections. So we're just going to take our jump ring, open that up, slide it onto our component, and then we're going to add our fringe. And if you run out of room on one side, you can slide them on the other. It does help kind of even out when you're trying to close the jump ring if you have even dangles on each side. I think I got a little more room on this side. That's just something that works for me. Alright, now we're going to very carefully close this. Make sure that's closed nicely. And now we have our tassel. So I don't like the way that that's sideways. I think I've done this before. We're going to add one more jump ring because I want those tassels to be facing out. That is something that I neglected to think about, and now that I see that, I don't like it. So very carefully, and that actually works better, I think, now that I think about it, because it'll be easier to shut this. So now they're going to be oriented this way. So sometimes as you're making things, you know, you have to think a little bit like an engineer and adjust. You always have to adjust when you're making jewelry until you get the hang of it. Sometimes I remember, oh, I got to turn it this way or that way. Other times it's just trial and error. But it's just jump rings, you know, easy to take apart, easy to put back together. So here is our dangle, and I like it facing, so that's fun. You could also, if you had a really big bead cap, hide the top of this. I'm just going to leave it open. I'm trying to go for a boho look here, so I don't mind that this is showing, but you could do that another way if you wanted. If you had a really large bead cap that would cover these connections, you could also do that. But this is what I mean about the movement. See that? So when you're walking or moving around, you're going to have all this moving with you, which I like. So this is going to be the centerpiece for our necklace. And I thought we would hang this really pretty glass flower bead, and then it would hang from the necklace from that. So I did pull out some copper bead caps that I thought would go nicely. So I'm just going to make that component next and attach it to my component here. And for that, I want a larger, I think I want a longer head pin. or a piece of wire. This is an extra, you know, I always keep any scraps that I have, I keep, because you never know when something will come in handy. And like this is perfect. It even has a loop on it already. So don't throw out your scraps. Hang on to them because they are helpful to have. You just never know when you might need just a little piece of something. And it eliminates waste too, which is nice. So I'm just gonna wire wrap this loop. I think this is some 20 gauge bronze wire that I had. Well, that was fortunate to find. And now we're going to, I like the petals kind of like it's hanging down. So we're going to put that face down. I might do a little, actually, I think I'm going to put one of these little spacer beads just to give it a little lift. Now we'll add this, and we will add our copper bead cap. That's really pretty. And then because I want it to hang from the necklace, we want the loop to go this way, kind of like we're making a bail. So I'm going to bend that over, and I'm going to make the loop a little bit bigger than I would normally, just so it has lots of room to float around off of the necklace. Do a little messy wrap here. If it's going to cooperate. Come on, Mr. Wire. You can do it. There we go. All right. So now we have our metal, our kind of our focal component. So we're going to just hang on to this for a second, and we're going to get out our beading wire. And like I said, I'm going to do a kind of a centerpiece that hangs. So I already split this wire up. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, let me do this. So in our drawing here, as you can see, I have this piece right here. This is what we're going to make next. So I want something to hang from that. And how I'm going to accomplish that is I'm going to attach these two pieces. Let me move this wire out of the way. These two pieces like this, just pretend that it's hanging for now. And then I'm going to add a jump ring. And then I'm going to do another little dangle of something. And I think I'm going to pick up one of these really pretty quartz beads with the bead caps. So let's make that first. So we're going to take another piece of wire. Let's see. I don't know if I have any more scraps in here. That would be really great if I did, but I'm not seeing any. I'm just going to grab a nice long head pin. I'm not the neatest when it comes. Oh, here's another scrap. Perfect. All right, another scrap. See how they come in handy? Don't throw out your scraps. I'm going to just hand worm this a little bit. This is also 20 gauge, and I'm going to hand worm it because it is a little wrinkled at the bottom. No big deal. We're going to wrap most of this. So let's see. Do we want to do that? Now that I think about it, we actually need a ball head pin, but I'm going to save this. We actually need this because I forgot we're not gonna have anything hanging from the bottom. So we're gonna do change direction a little. Hey, it happens all the time. So the other thing that concerns me is this head. This looks a little big for the. See how big that ball is? and this, that could fall off of there. So I'm gonna put one of my spacer beads there, because that will keep it. Now we don't have to worry about anything sliding off. All right, back to our regularly scheduled necklace. I do love these bead caps. I think they're so pretty. So yeah, so, you know, I think I have a plan, and then I realize, again, it's the engineering. Sometimes they get you. But hey, that's the adventure and the part of jewelry making that is what teaches you what works and what doesn't. And there is more than one way to do things. So by all means, if you wanted to use a solid piece of chain, you could. But what I was thinking about was, this chain it's not like open links like a lot of chain is, and I wanted a definite center point, and that's why I'm doing it this way. But you do you. I mean, try it your way. If it works, great. If it doesn't, you learned something, and you just do it a different way. That's all. No big deal. It's just jewelry. We're not doing brain surgery. Thank goodness. All right, so we've got our little drop, and then I'm going to open up my little jump ring here. And we will attach one side, the other side. And I had an idea about attaching this that I thought might be pretty cool. So as we string our necklace, I'll show you what I mean. I hope it works. I've not ever tried it before, so we're gonna experiment a little today. So now we have our dangle for the other part of our necklace. So this will hang, and then we'll have another little layer. So I'm just gonna put this to the side for a minute, and this to the side, and we're going to get out our wire, and I'm using 7-strand bead-alon. And if you ever notice on your bead wire, it always tells you what size crimp tube to use. So on this one, it's a number 2. Or if you have a crimp bead, it's a number 1. So that's the bead and that's the tube. And that's how you know, in case you were wondering what all that means. I made jewelry for a long time before I knew what all that meant. So I'm just going to give myself a generous amount of wire. I may not use all of it. And then one of the things I like to do when I'm doing a centered necklace with a drop is I like to add the drop first. Those of you who have watched me for a little while know that I like to, I like to make one earring, and if I like it, then I'll do the companion. I do the same thing with the necklace. Some people lay it all out on a bead board, and that's fine too. I will generally string one side, and then when I like it, I will do the other side. So that's what we're going to do right now. And I am going to start with one of these really pretty quartz beads. And I did a limited palette this time, only because I wanted this necklace to have a little more structure. And you didn't see that off camera, but I just dropped everything I just did. You know, it's never a dull moment when you're making jewelry with me. And yeah, that went completely on the floor as I was yapping. I may do this other side too. That's what I get for yapping. Not paying attention. So I'm going to do this other side real fast, because I'm going to, since I had that happen, hardy har, I just want to take a look. I like that. I'm going to use a clip to keep my beads from coming off. Just like that. We'll put that to the side, and then we won't have that problem anymore. And now it's time to string. Yay! So I did pick a limited palette. I love, these are the same beads as the one I put on the center, but they're that pretty lavender color. So I'm pretty much sticking with pink, the hot pink, the lavender, the light pink, that bright green, and then some copper spacer beads. And then we'll have this little dangle piece coming down as well. So I'm going to just string. I don't have a rhyme or reason for the stringing. I'm just going to start stringing a pattern, or sort of a pattern. And I do like these coin beads. I think they're super cool. And I love the way they pick up the light. And then you've got, I've never seen the fiber optic bicones before, but I sure like them. So I think I'm going to do 3 of the lavender, 3 of these, and then I think I want a spacer bead. If I can find where the wire goes, there we go. And then I think a pretty pop of this pink will be nice up higher, but I think we're going to do another, no, we got the spacer bead. I'm going to do these purple beads next, these really pretty glass beads. And then I pulled out a few more of these bead caps from my stash for the purple beads. Then we're going to go right back into our pattern. So purple, green, purple, green. Come here, mister. It's the end of the day from my day job, so I'm a little fatigued, so the coordination is a little off today. Then we're gonna do, this was my idea for the, let's see if that's gonna be high enough. No, we're gonna need to do another section. So this time we're gonna do our really pretty, I don't know, it's kind of a sherbet color, isn't it? This nice pretty quartz. Now this time I think I'm gonna do the pinks. So I did 2 lavenders, I'm gonna do a pink section. So we'll do some green, a pink, a green, a pink. Okay. All right. Now, grab another spacer. Now my thought is to go ahead and string this guy that I wanted to hang as a second. I thought it'd be cool to string it right onto the chain. So let's push these aside for just a second, because I want to eyeball how that's going to lay, because you don't want this bead to bang into this centerpiece. So let's see. So if we have those there and this hangs down, I think we need a little bit more. I think we need a few more beads. So I think for the pink section, we'll do 5 pink. Again, I always like to do odd numbers. So we'll do 5 pink and see what that does. I think that'll be the way to go. So that's 4 and 5. I think I'm going to leave that spacer bead off. So now we're going to grab this. Sorry, this is off camera. but I'm trying to keep stuff from falling. Here we go. So this is gonna hang, yeah, that's better. So now you can see with this length, this is not going to bang into your middle section, if you can see. Let me push this up further. See what I mean? So I'm going to work on the other side now so I can get a better idea of how all this is going to work. So we're going to do this side next. And this is just stringing, you know. You've done the hard part with all these little components. So this is kind of the little reward at the end of all that engineering that we had to do earlier. At least that's the way I like to think of it. I enjoy all of it, but the stringing is a little less problem solving and a little more just fun, you know, making patterns and whatever it is you like visually when you're making stuff like this. So we need one of these. And we're just going to mirror what we've done on this side. So now we need another one of these really pretty lavender guys. And another bead cap. And I'm going to do another section of lavender. Some of these beads still have a little bit of string on them, that's why I'm not picking them. I'll have to eventually nip that string off, but I don't want to take up more time than I have to showing you this. Everybody's time is valuable. So now we're going to do another one of these really pretty dyed quartz beads. All right. And now we're going to do our pink section. So we're going to grab another green. I really do like these coin beads. I'm curious, I haven't been on their website to see if sometimes they get things in other colors from your box. I'm curious to see if these coin beads come in any other colors because I really like them. And of course the fiber optic bicones are turning out to be some of my favorites for this particular subscription. Let's see, that's 4. What do we do, 5? Yeah. 5 of those. Hope everybody's day's going well. I'm glad my day's over. I'd much rather be doing this all day, but you know, gotta make a living. Okay, so here is, oh yeah, that turns out nice. So this is kind of long, but as you can see, this is, so let me twist that around. This is our, let me move our camera just a little, or maybe I should move this better than move the camera. Got boxes of beads everywhere. Not that I'm complaining. Let me move this up. So you can see where we're going with this. And here is our pretty tassel. So now we just need to continue stringing. And so for this row, for these, I think I'm going to go back to the lavender. Let me see how many lavenders. Let's see. Let's see, I did 3 and 3, I think. So 3 and 3. 3. Need more of these green ones. And then maybe we'll finish up with some of these copper guys. I was going to use these leaves, but I think I'm going to save those for some earrings. And I do love them, though. They're really pretty. So now we're going to go back to our purple, dusty lavender, if you will. Might have to do more than one. Maybe we'll do another section of pink, just for variety's sake. Also, I think I might be running out of the purple beads. You know, sometimes your design is a matter of necessity. And I'm going to add one of these guys. I do like to change up the patterns too when I go up a necklace like this. I think it adds more visual interest. That's just me. So by that I mean I did 2 rows of the lavender here, but I think up here I did the pink, now I'm going to do lavender and probably pink again. So that's what I mean. I mean, you're still doing the same kind of pattern, but a little bit of a variation on it, which I think looks interesting. Okay. Oh, we need one more green one. And this is the one. Yeah, this has a little bit of that fiber that it was strung on. So let me get that out of there. In my haste to put my beads in my box, I didn't really unstring them probably as thoroughly as I should have. Okay, so I'm using the copper spacer beads as a stop between. Now I'm going to do the pink in 3s. I'm not going to do 5 again. Oh, we got any more green beads? Ooh, we might run out of green beads too. No, I think we have enough. I think we have enough. This box has been well loved and used. Can you see? That's the way it looks at the end of me working on stuff. Just down to a few beads, and I've moved all the sections out of the box, and and then whatever's left goes into my stash. Let me pull out just a little. You can see the necklace a little bit more. I zoom in and then I forget I gotta zoom out so you can see. I'm learning. Sometimes it's like balancing plates, making jewelry and filming yourself. So I'm gonna add another copper space bead. Now we're gonna go with the pink again. We're done with that one. Pink. I don't know if any of you if you remember, I think the 70s or 80s, pink and green was a very big color combination for that generation. I remember everything came in pink and green, pink and green. I think I had a purse that was pink and green. I think Lily Pulitzer, if you're familiar with that designer, does a lot in pink and green. I think those are popular golf colors too for people that like to golf. I am not coordinated, so I am not good at golf. But I do think that golf, what is it? The greens, beautiful. Okay, so here is what we've got. I am trying to decide how long I want this necklace because the tassel's pretty long. Let me just measure this really quick. So we do need to go up a little more. I think what we could do though is add chain at the end. So we could add, yeah, let's do that. So let me just measure this really quickly. I like to take a head pin and just bend it, and actually that one looks like it got cut. Let me pull that one off. Woo! All right. Where'd my head pin go? There it is. He was hiding. So I like to just make sure my chain is even by just putting it on a head pin like this, and then I can just measure it that way rather than counting links. This particular one looks like I just need to get rid of this middle link. This chain is weird when it comes apart. It really comes apart. Like, I don't think I could use any of those little scraps, but I will keep them in my scrap pile. So now we have equal size chain for each side of our necklace. This will be good too, because we'll be able to use a toggle clasp for finishing it off. And so I'm going to grab some wire guardians. Let's see if I have any out. There we go. We are going to need some crimp beads, because we're going to attach this wire to this chain. So, and then I'll use a bead cover, so I'm just going to use silver. I still haven't purchased any copper crimp tubes yet. I'm going to use our wonderful crimp pliers. So let's pull out a couple of wire guardians. And this thing is nifty. I got this, I think, on Amazon, and it just comes in this nifty little case. All different finishes, and you just slide this little window around when you want a color, and when you're done, you put the window over this little guy so nothing spills. None of these little pieces. That's always a bonus for me. None of those little pieces go anywhere. So we're going to add our crimp tube. For those of you who've never used wire guardian, this is what it looks like. This little U-shaped guy, and it has channels in it, and it keeps your wire from rubbing against metal, which is always helpful. So now we're gonna attach our wire guardian, and we're gonna slide down this way because we need to get it closer to that bead down there. And because I haven't strung anything yet, I mean, I haven't tightened this up, I can tighten up the other side, which is nice. That's another reason why I string the way that I do, because this side will slide, so I can make it tighter on just one end rather than struggle with it and try to make it tight on two ends. So now we're going to fish our wire through the crimp tube. Oh, before we do that, we need to add our chain. Don't forget to do that, otherwise you'll have to use, I mean, if you do forget, let's say you forget to put this chain on here, you could just do a jump ring. So all is not lost if you forget this step. There's just another way to do it. That's all there is. So now we're going to slide this in here, and let's pull on that. So now you got a nice tight, you don't want your wires to cross, so we're going to hang on to this. And again, I'm not worried about slack because I'm going to tighten on the other side. I'm going to hold on to this. Sometimes you gotta, yeah, there we go. We're going to crimp with the back end of this first, just like that. And now we're going to go to the next one And the next one, just tighten it. I'm going to trim this. I hang on to this too because you could use this for an earring possibly. I am going to add my crimp cover now. Again, this is another one of those little slidey things. It's so cool. I think both of these came off of Amazon. I'll link them if I find them. It's been a while since I bought these, but I'm fairly certain that that's where I got them. So we got kissing cousins here. Let me see if I can get one of these. They do tend to travel in pairs, but that's good because we need two of them. So I'm just going to slide that back. But it comes in all finishes. Again, so helpful and not going to go anywhere. So those are pretty cool. I like those. So now we're going to cover our crimp bead because remember it was silver. And I mean, you don't have to do that. I just do it for a finished look. And we're just gonna slide our, I just like to take it like this and then slide it on. And then just, you want to just gently close it. Take your time. You don't want it to be cattywampus on you, as they say. As they say in Texas. It was 97 degrees last week, by the way. I'm not ready for that. It's only May. All right, so here is our chain. We're going to do the other side. And like I said, now I'm pulling this to tighten it so that we don't have any slack anywhere. So this is, and do have extra wire. It's easier to do this. You don't want a tiny little piece done at the end because you're going to be fighting with that. So make sure you be generous with your wire. Like I said, if you have extra, just save it. I have a little bin that I save all my little extra wire in also, and you can certainly use this for an earring. So just hang on to that. Don't throw it away. We're going to add our crimp tube. And we're going to add another one of our little wire guardians. Going to slide him in there. And then we're going to put him in there. Oops. Slide. I'm trying to see if you can. I have to hang on to it with my thumb, so I'm trying not to cover it for you, but you just slide it that way. Ooh, that was a good shot. There we go. Yay, I'm glad that worked. Okay, so that's what you got. Now we're going to add our chain. Yay me, I didn't forget. But if you do, you can use a jump ring. Now we're going to add this. And now we're going to tighten this. So this can get a little tricky. But what you want to do is A, take a deep breath and take your time. B, we're going to slide. I'm going to slide this down. I just pulled the slack out. See that? And now I'm going to slide that back. And you do need a little bit of room because you are going to have to fish your wire back through this crimp tube. So we're going to do that next. Just give yourself a moment to get that in there. I find that if I just take my time and take a deep breath, I can generally get it pretty darn close. So now we're going to crimp this. Make sure our wires aren't crossing. Going to crimp again and again. I'm going to save that piece. Now we're going to go in with our crimp cover. We're almost done, guys. This is a little bit longer one. Sometimes I do a longer one. So I hope I've kept you interested. That's why I didn't want you to sit through all those dangles, because, you know, once you've seen one made, you don't really need to see all 7. I'm going to slowly close that. I like to go around it a little bit just to make sure it's, there we go. All right, so now we're almost done. So that's very pretty. So we got this. I'm gonna slide out a little bit more. You're gonna see my messy desk, but that's okay. So now we have chain, our connectors, this, and then this really pretty tassel. So that is going to be a very pretty necklace. And we're going to add, so with our box we got some toggles. So I'm going to use the toggles that we got, which is this really pretty flower. We'll use that. And I'm going to grab some more. Let's see, do I have jump rings out? I do. We're going to just attach them with some jump rings. And we will be finished. So let me pull back in just a jiffy. We will put these on. Oops, what did I do with my... Oh. Ah. I lost my other pliers. They were hiding. Okay. Add our toggle. These toggles are so pretty. That's why I wanted it in the front of that necklace we did last week. Which, thank you so much, by the way, for all the compliments. I'm really glad you enjoyed that project. I did too. I thought it turned out really nice. Love the bargain bead box. Okay, here is our piece. It's so sculptural, that toggle piece. I do want to use those too. I just haven't really decided how I want to use them in a different way from. Make sure I got that on there good. Okay. It would help if I attached it to the chain. See, I'm tired. What is wrong with me today? Goodness. That's all right. You'll forgive me, won't you? You know how to put on a toggle. You probably don't need me for that. Probably half of you are like, no, you forgot to put that on. I heard you. Okay. That is so pretty. I love that. Isn't that cool? Okay, guys, our necklace is done. Let me pull out. I'm going to try to see how I can make this look a little better here. Let's see. Maybe if I put it on some white paper. White paper. And oh. Yep, that's cute. So here we go. Here is our necklace with the pretty toggle. And I love this. That's fun. The glass beads are gorgeous. I love the colors. And I love the movement of this. And then you've got this hanging. I did notice when I was hanging it, this doesn't bother me, but this kind of sticks out a little. If that bothers you, you can always add a jump ring or another bead. So just want to make sure that you knew that was there. And our beautiful toggle, very sculptural, and our pretty lavender and green and pink colors. Yeah. So let's do a little close-up of our latest project. I'm going to zoom in so you can see, and maybe I'll take my phone down. I'm doing this on my phone. Sorry if I wobbled, but this way you can get a good view of what we actually did. I love that copper with these colors. How's that, guys? My desk is messy, but I'm trying to just show you the necklace. So that's our project. Hope I'm not making you dizzy. Let me put this back in here. Back in the house you go. Okay. So, project necklace number 2 for our May flowers. The beautiful bargain bead box for this month. I think it turned out nice. I know this was a long one. Thanks for sticking and hanging in there with me. As always, like and subscribe. Very close to the 1,000 subscribers, guys. It's going to happen probably in the next week. So be looking for that studio tour and meeting me. That will happen probably in a week. If all goes well and I continue to get subscribers. But thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves and your families. Be safe. Let's continue praying for some world peace. And I will see you on the next project.